and I apologize for this delay in coming out of the airport. And I started 5 o'clock in the morning from Chandigarh, and so it took little time. So I apologize for that. Doing that. The topic of today's session is the patterns of the youth migration in Assam. And when I looked at this topic, I realized that in Assam, there is a diversity even in the pattern of migration. So, if you could change the slide. Okay. So, over the years, what I have seen here is there is a significant movement away from Assam has always been an agrarian society, but there is a significant movement in the last 10 years or so, and moving from agrarian livelihoods to the urban service delivery related aspects. And India as a whole has also moved towards that, but this pattern in Assam is much more evident. And that opens up a lot of opportunity, which Karthik was mentioning just now, about how the youth of the state can take advantage of this orientation which you have right now. And there are a lot of other issues which are related to this. One is maybe the education gaps there, or the economic activities in the agriculture sector is almost nil. And there are different kinds of Assam being vulnerable to many of the natural disasters as well. So all these things are doing its bit to propagate, to promote this kind of migration away from the rural sector. Next, please. So I also observed that how much is the change there. And one very interesting pattern emerged, that from the rural areas of Assam itself, people are moving to Guwahati. And that's one of the major trends we have seen here. It's not that just those who move away from interstate migration is also there, but that happens through Guwahati. And to other cities of Assam, the migration is very less. So this is a very interesting trend I found out, that people are all flocking to Guwahati. And Guwahati may not offer that much of opportunity for the future. So I'm sure our fellow speakers would have spoken about how the opportunities are opening up outside India and how the youth of Assam can take advantage of that. Next, please. So I also tried to find out from here where people go. And you'll see here, of course, Delhi has got a larger percentage, but Bangalore, Hyderabad, these are also the cities where people are moving. And that shows the first slide which I showed you. That shows the orientation of the service sector. People are moving towards that. Our ministry had organized a program in July of last year. That was on the startup ecosystem. And I found out that mostly the startup was in Assam. Even in the northeast region, mostly it was in Assam. And they were focused only in Guwahati. But one very interesting trend was there when I asked them, why do you open offices in cities like Bangalore, Delhi, or Hyderabad? They say, we have got an identity crisis here. That was very revealing to me. That identity crisis of people do not take it seriously unless we are in the cities like Hyderabad or Bangalore. They were saying that even if we move to Guwahati and open up the startup here, we have to have an office somewhere outside, what they call as the mainland of India. And that shows this migration pattern is how difficult it is for them to move away from the cities. Next, please. And this slide explains why people move away from the agrarian ecosystem of Assam to even Guwahati and outside. The wage difference you can see is almost 3 times. So if you take this slide, in the rural area, people are earning roughly around 4,000 rupees a month. When they move to Guwahati and other places outside Assam, they earn twice as much. So that explains the reason for interstate migration which is happening in India. Next, please. This is another very interesting slide. It says mostly the men migrate outside, the women do not. It's only 8% of women are migrating out of the state. Most of them are staying here. But for the men, the migration is much more evident there. So if you analyze all this pattern, maybe next slide will give you much more clarity onto this. If you analyze this pattern, a very distinct trend is emerging. People are moving away from agrarian ecosystem to more of the tech-based roles or the service orientation or service industry. People are moving towards, which is in line with the national trend also. People are moving away from agriculture, especially the educated youth. Those who have higher education are moving away from the agri-based jobs or the manual-based jobs to more of the tech-based jobs. And this slide also says that a remittance economy is also developing. That remittance economy means the people who are going outside from there, since their families are within Assam itself, they are sending the money back to Assam. So a new kind of support, apart from agriculture which was there, a new kind of support is also emerging here. So if the migration has happened, there's another trend is there, which says that the labor shortage, which was very rare in the eastern part of India and northeastern part of India. But here, the labor shortages have started emerging in agriculture. So, which will force you to move towards mechanized agriculture in the very near future. And there is a long-term risk also there for stagnation happening, because the remittance-based economies, the stagnation is imminent. So if the people are not earning enough out of the agriculture and they are dependent on the remittance coming to them, and because their families are here, very soon you will find a stagnation coming up. So it's all the more pertinent that the team moves away from the regular jobs only in Assam to more of the international locations or the national locations, move away from here. Next, please. It also has got, we are sitting in the Administrative Staff College. It also has its implication on the policies for the state governments. And we in Government of India always look at this perspective very closely, because I look after corporate social responsibility, so I can talk to you about that. Most of the companies are having focus only in Assam and not in other parts of the Northeast region. And yet, it is only around 2% of the total CSR expenditure which happens in the state. So, unless you strengthen the rural educational infrastructure here, and unless people move out from that stagnation, you will not be able to get the best out of the current economic trend which India is witnessing these days. Very soon will be the third largest economy of the world. So if you have to take advantage of it, you need to be strengthening this rural education system here. The second one is, as far as possible, when the people are coming here, while I was coming from Chandigarh, I saw in the plane, there were hardly any SME people who were traveling. And that surprised me. People were there from Gujarat, people were there from Maharashtra, people were there from Punjab, of course, people were there from UP. Those who are coming here, setting their shops here, and taking advantage of the economic opportunity. So it's for you to take this, to fill this gap by creating those local opportunities which are there, but you are not able to take advantage of. If the people are coming from outside and taking the jobs here, there are chances of you should also be able to take advantage of that. Then, since natural disasters are a very key to, very endemic to this place, I would suggest that you should be investing into the climate resilient livelihood kind of things here, because more often than not, as the climate change is happening in India, in the world, very soon you will be finding out the climate change affecting the regular rural livelihood, which is the agrarian-based economy. So, that comes up to the last slide that I have. The migration in Assam is more driven by the structural, economic, educational and environmental reasons rather than the other factors which are affecting this. The policy focus is needed on the rural education and education, especially in the higher education side, so that you become empowered enough, you become more resilient enough to face the challenges which the world offers to you. And the job creation and the climate resilience should be the focus into this area. I'll conclude here, and if you have any questions, I would love to answer. Thank you.